Good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
So we have 5 families for this class. Hi, Mia.
Hi. Sorry, we're like in the middle of doing so much stuff right now, and I'm by myself right now. So I'll be moving around a little bit, and he's eating.
That is okay. Oh my goodness. Hi.
Let me take my background off.
Look at that beautiful smile. Hi.
It's too
Hi,
much.
Let's see.
It's too much.
Here we go.
We're going to give a few more minutes to the other families that register to just give them a chance to come in. So feel free to finish your breakfast.
Okay.
As we wait, we'll give I like to wait about 3 minutes or so.
Okay. What's the best way? Because I saw that there's like a exercise or experiment. So should we be at the table? Should we be in the living room? What's the best place?
Sitting on the floor is a really good idea.
Okay. All right.
Sitting on the floor, having everything laid out on the floor. Here comes Dominique. That is classic.
I see you waving. I saw you waving. Good morning.
Hello, Dominique and Classic. Hi, big smile. Can't with that smile. He's not even showing the teeth. He's just like,
It's a very cool smile. He was like not showing teeth, but I want you to know that I recognize, I'm gonna smile. I'm happy. Oh my goodness. I can't.
Me either.
These biddies are just too adorable.
Thank you.
And that is a very unique name, Classic. I love it.
Thank you. They know your name. Yeah.
We know you. Yes, we know your name.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I saw some teeth. Got a little bit. That smile got a little bigger because I said your name. It's because I said your name.
Uh-huh.
It is.
Great.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna give a few more minutes.
Okay.
A few more seconds. Just one more minute.
Okay.
And then we'll get started.
All right. See the colors? Yeah. Yeah. The colors. And the violin.
I just heard someone come in. All right. So we are just waiting for, well, we won't wait any further now that we have 3 out of 5.
Good morning.
Look at him smile.
Good morning. Tyson and Andrea. Classic, and we have Christian.
Say hello.
Hi.
Hi, Tyson. Look, Libby.
Say hello. There's Christian. Say hello.
Say hi. No, bud, not over there.
All right. Well, let's get started. First, I just want to say a big, huge good morning and a massive thank you to all of you for coming this morning. Hello. and being interested in our Bitty and Buddy programs. We are so honored and excited to present these classes to you and to tell you more about our program. So the way it's going to go this morning, I'm going to show you a PowerPoint. Thank you. I'm going to show you a PowerPoint that gives you more insight into our program. And then we're going to do a mini demonstration for about 10 minutes. And then we're going to have a Q&A where we can talk about anything else that you all have questions about after the demonstration and the explanation of the program. All right. So let me try my hand at putting this out of the way. Okay, so first let me tell you all why we call it HBCU-ish. Let me see if I can everyone see me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right, so why HBCU-ish by NeuroNurture? Well, I started thinking, what if the confidence, connection, and culture of the HBCU experience was introduced early in life? And that's where the whole idea of HBCU-ish came from. So welcome to HBCU-ish by NeuroNurture. We are a safe space where our passion is creating programs and products that are based on internationally proven best practices that loudly celebrate our families. So much like the HBCU experience, enrollment in our programs invites you into an interactive virtual village of families where you can find resources, make connections, and share in our monthly wind down parent gatherings. Why NeuroNurture? Where did this come from? What is NeuroNurture? So I created NeuroNurture as a curriculum that started with just my son and quickly grew. Started in 2012 when he was about maybe 10 months old. And it was while I was in a doctoral program for neuroscience at New York University. It was after I graduated from Howard. I'd been at NYU probably 5.5 years or so, studying all types of things, studying the cellular molecular basis of learnings. I was studying how people use race to make social decisions. And once I got pregnant with my son, I was really concerned with how Black children specifically develop their cultural and self-esteem and how that's impacted by learning environments. Because I remembered my own experience. And once I was pregnant, I was really like, well, I'm really curious about, what my son is going to experience. And let me just kind of get into this research now that I knew a lot about how people use race to make economic decisions and social decisions. And what I found was not surprising, but to see that it was so prevalent in the data and so supported by data, but not reflected in preschool classrooms, in schools, in daycares, in policies. That's where NeuroNurture came from. My concern with the fact that in research, it was very accepted that racial biases are very prevalent and they impact all types of decisions. And oftentimes in a negative way for us, and even the people that are exhibiting these biases. So let me just get into this study, which is not a study. This is from a Washington Post review, It's from a Washington Post article that reviewed some research from a couple of different laboratories. And what it talked about is kids are essentialist thinkers. And from a very early age, they assume that if somebody is the same on the outside, they must also be the same on the inside. So with you being their parent, little bitty kids literally don't have the theory of mind to be able to understand that what they feel is not what you feel. So when they're hungry, they think you're hungry. Like they really do kind of have this expectation that what they're experiencing is a general experience. And so that's also how they start to think about race, meaning whoever looks like their parents, they think that that's also how they're going to treat me. So they're good people because they look like my parents. And anybody that doesn't look like my parents, they kind of start to feel like I'm a little bit doubtful. I'm curious about this person, but I don't really know necessarily how to feel about them. And then they get the feedback about how to feel about those outsiders from their parents and from the books that they read and from the TV shows that they watch and the interactions that they observe, whatever they are. So they can learn from cartoons, they can learn from books at a very early age. So in a 2005 study, David Kelly found that 3-month-old babies can distinguish faces on the basis of race, and that they show preferences towards faces of their own race. And then by the time these kids are toddlers, they also behave in prejudiced ways too. In this other study by a lady named Phyllis Katz, she created this place called the Institute of Research on Social Problems out of Colorado. She regularly observed in a longitudinal study more than 200 children, half Black, half white, from the time that they were 6 months old all the way up to 6 years old. And what she found was that by the age of 3, 1/3 of Black children, when asked, look at these faces of kids, who would you like to play with? 1/3 of them, of the Black children, chose only to play with photos of other Black kids. But that also meant that 2/3 of the Black children did not want to play with Black children. Contrastingly, 86% of white children only chose to play with photos of other white children. So where is this disconnect happening from 3 months where they're starting to recognize race? How are children by the age of 3 exhibiting something that is actually really common in the wide sweep of America, where around 70% of Americans, regardless of race, do have some sort of level of anti-Black automatic racial bias? How is it that 3-year-olds are picking this up? And this bothered me deeply because as a parent to a Black child, I just couldn't help but wonder, how does this impact my child's play space? How does this impact his care space? How does this impact his self-esteem? What does this mean for Black children in these spaces? And that concern, that focus is where NeuroNurture came from. So starting in 2012, I started to develop this curriculum that really supports children of color. And I try to make the curriculum reflect the environment and the makeup of the student body. So in 2014, or 2013, really, I opened my first school, a micro school, and I opened it out of my home. I convinced my husband to let me change half of our 1,200 square foot condo into a preschool, like a real preschool. And I was not a trained educator. I had spent 2 years, I was not a trained early childhood educator, I should say it that way. I spent 2 years teaching myself about early childhood education so that I could best support my son, and that's him right back here. But prior to that, my youngest students that I had ever been in charge of were 3rd graders. And then college students for a longer period of time. So I was an adjunct instructor at New York University in neuroscience. But here, after my husband agreed, this was our former dining room. And it became our eating space, our community space, and our math market. And over here, this is our like auditorium, right? So this was our library, our music center. The NeuroNurture curriculum is heavy on music, heavy on hands-on experiences, heavy on interactions with parents, with teachers, and with people in our community as well. So this was a woman who led a laughter yoga program, and she came in and did a laughter yoga class with the students. And then we've been mentioned in the media. So our first media mention was at the Howard Alumni Magazine back in 2016. And then it grew from there. We've been on podcasts. We've been interviewed on many different platforms, including the Washington Post a few times. And then most recently on CNN. We were interviewed and talking about our pod program. So we have different ways of supporting Black families and our multicultural allies, and that's through pods, virtual learning, and in-person programs, as well as curriculum support for existing programs such as teacher training programs. Oh, Let me go back. So after a while, after a very short period, actually, the program got too big for my home, and we moved into a building where this was a Reggio Emilia. That's a philosophy that comes out of Italy, but this Reggio Emilia space was our laboratory where children could come in and explore natural environment, their natural world in this laboratory environment. So there's a light table, there's a water table, and then there were natural materials here that they could break apart and explore on these different surfaces. And then this was our preschool and kindergarten Montessori influenced classroom. And then here, this was a heavy Montessori influenced infant and parent classroom space. I'm going to come back to Mrs. D. So I just want to kind of give you a little bit of a background about the about the NeuroNurture curriculum. Our curriculum is called the ILAP curriculum, and that means intentional learning at play. And it's influenced by all of these things. Reggio Emilia, which is an Italian philosophy that follows children. So they use a process called documentation to write down information about each child every day, little stories, take pictures, and kind of look at how little bitty kids are learning. Actually, all kids in the Reggio Emilia school are learning. And it's a philosophy that came out of a war-torn Italy and effort to heal children, to heal them from traumatic experiences. And I think that's a beautiful way of thinking about children with them at the center. So it's heavily influenced by Reggio Emilia concepts and mentality of thinking. Here, the Montessori curriculum, which really prepares children to be contributors to their family, for them to feel empowered in their own bodies, and for them to feel like who they are already is really beautiful and that their world is a beautiful place. So we do a lot of things to try to create beauty and confidence and love within the child. So the way we talk to them, the way we support you in learning about talking to them, how we talk about discipline as a study, not an action, not a reaction. These are all things that come from partially the Montessori and Reggio Emilia backgrounds. Waldorf is another concept that follows kids, and kids from ages 0 to 7 are in an imitation phase. So we talk a lot about how what you do is giving them tools, and whether they're maladaptive or adaptive tools, they're giving them tools nonetheless. So we talk a lot about what to do and how to use the demonstration of what we do to support what they emulate. And then cooperative, that's focusing on family and incorporating what we know about neuroscience and psychology. And then high scope is more for the preschool program, but it's still a big component of incorporating the child's directives in what they do in class. Let me go back for a second. So this program, this is a pilot program because we're translating our hands-on experience-based, documentation-based program to a virtual program. So that requires feedback from you, grace both ways, and investment from you in realizing that these classes are not meant to entertain your child, even though they are very engaging and entertaining. They're intended to give you the tools to support what you want to see in your family, in your child, which we are empowering these children to be free Black children. We want them to challenge, to have confidence, to be resourceful, to be empowered, and to have a voice and know that who they are is more than beautiful and sufficient, but know that who they are is important and they have a value in not just your home and to themselves, but to the greater world as a whole. So that requires investment from you, and for you to use these classes as a workshop to support you beyond what we're doing in class. And also, it requires cooperation where we respect our babies, respect one another, and respect you as a family. So we do ask you to give us a lot of information about what's going on in your family so that we can really understand how to best support you. And there was something else I wanted to say that I just forgot. So sometimes our babies are not interested in doing these classes just because we think this is a good time for them to meet. And we absolutely understand and respect that. And what we try to really remind you all the time is that these are workshops for you, and they're really fun experiences for your babies, which means that if you come to class and your baby is falling out, like, no, I'm not doing this today, stay in class. It's okay. Love on the baby, nurse the baby, give them snacks, let them do what they are ready to do, because later on during the day, you will then have the tools to come back and demonstrate what you were modeled in class with Mrs. D. So it's an effort for you to respect the baby, respect their energy, and come back later with the tools that you pick up in class that day. So it's not an effort to force them to be engaged right now because we think it is. It's an effort to support you in learning the tools to help them connect with the materials and the themes and the curriculum for that day and for that week when they're ready, and to recognize those opportunities to jump in and support them. It is also a community. We have monthly support classes for all of our families, whether you are live or on demand. We have support classes where we come in, and it's a community conversation. It's a virtual village. This is an example of the materials that would come in your Bitty Brain Box. So everything we do is built around supporting you in the class and supporting you in your life. So the core ideas are presented through play. Excuse me, I have a preschool video that I can show you all to kind of demonstrate what that looks like for the preschool class. We follow the children on a personal and developmental level. So this Bitty Busy blanket is actually a mock-up of the blanket that you would receive in your Bitty Brain Box for the Navigators class. So it has fine motor materials, a zipper, buckles. It has shapes. It has primary and secondary colors, primary, secondary colors. It actually has the mixing of how you create secondary colors and primary colors here. And then we have textural interactions here with a soft furry area, bumpy, rough, and then we have our shapes and our letters and the sensory. So this is an auditory tool right here. This is a rattle with vintage beads in it. So there are just so many things that we will build our classes around on this circular blanket, and everything is built around our materials. So we support you with our programs and our curriculum. And then our curriculum is accessible to all children, no matter where they are on developmental spectrums, and also multiple learning styles. Your little ones are showing their own personalities more. They are showing whether they're auditory, tactile, visual, kinesthetic learners. And so we are supporting all those learning styles with the classes. And so we're noisy. We sing a lot. You're going to get these horrible singing voices where we still bring joy and excitement to the class. It's very hands-on and it's very, very engaging. Things that you can expect in the class: number sense, math reasoning, that's number recognition, counting, we introduce counting, applications of numbers, daily integration. So we talk about how to count while you're walking, while you're eating, while you're playing, while you're bottle feeding, nursing, literacy foundations, building a word-rich environment in your home, introducing phonics, bilingual explorations. We definitely do a lot of Spanish. We also do American Sign Language so that they can learn to communicate in 3 different ways. Character skills, using our manners, sharing, playing, whether or not you have to share, science. They are scientists. They are constantly using their bodies to explore and understand their world, and we support that through the curriculum. Social emotional learning, that's as much for you as it is for the little one, probably more so at this age for you to kind of support them as they develop and understand their feelings, how to talk to them about who they are and how they value their internal motivations and needs through what we show them, and how we value their internal motivations and needs. Self-management, what is expected of me? What tools do I see and copy? How do I feel? What do I feel and what do I do with those feelings? And then cultural esteem, who am I? Where do I come from? What can I do with who I am? How important is that? And then we are very big on creating memories. So we have family dance parties where we listen to things like Stevie Wonder. We listen to all types of music, Beyonce, and we dance and we make memories with our babies because this is important. And then we support all of this with the Bitty Brain Box. This quarter, we'll be talking about the 5 senses. Well, we'll be talking about 3 of the 5 senses. So December is sight, January is hearing, February is touch. And then our Grow With Me materials in the Bitty Brain Box include the Busy Blanket, which is a tummy time mat. It includes thematic accessories with sensory stimulating accessories for visual, tactile, and auditory exploration. Other tactile materials that you can add on or remove from the mat or just play with outside of the mat. It has manipulatives for every sensory exploration. And then fine motor games like clips, buttons, and zippers that help them get ready for the independence and dressing themselves, writing in the future, getting ready for mini school if they stay on, and then later on for our preschool program. So you can grow with us all the way up to age 4, and our plan is to expand the program even further. This class is the Navigators class. You meet from December 14th to February 24th. That's 10 weeks of classes. You meet Mondays and Wednesdays for the live classes from 10 to 10:45 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. The tuition for the first quarter is $360. That's $120 a month. And then you get your Bitty Brain Box is an additional $100. And that's for, all 3 months of the program. So it's just one brain box for all 3 months of the program. And the payment plan, if you need it, is payment 1 is $220, and that's for month 1 in the Bitty Brain Box, which will be mailed to you before classes begin. And then payment 2 is $240, and that covers month 2 and 3, and that would be due December 20th, 2020. There is also an on-demand option in case you cannot meet during the live class. And that tuition is half of the live class tuition. Is that it? Okay, so now let's get to know Mrs. D. So Mrs. D is the instructor for this class, and she's the one that's going to be guiding you all through the whole program. And she is a mom of 2 biddies, Anais and Elias. They live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Her experience, she has been a preschool teacher for children ages 2 and 3. She has been a preschool director at 2 different locations. She's a curriculum writer for early childhood programs that's faith and non-faith based. She is a grant writer. She has a Bachelor of Arts degree in elementary education. She has a Master's of Arts degree in leadership for sustainable communities. And she is a certified postpartum doula. So she can support with all types of early life challenges, early life successes, early life experiences on the whole. She is an amazing friend, an amazing person to have in your virtual village. She is an amazing mother, and she is an amazing, amazing educator. So we are we are so excited as a company to be able to have her as a partner, as a member of your virtual village. And without further ado, I'm going to stop my screen share, and I'm going to make Mrs. D the spotlight. And I'm going to remove my spotlight. Oh, I think I already did. And then I'm going to make her the host of the program.
Good morning, free families. I am just so excited to be with you here this morning. I'm glad that you showed up with those bright smiley faces and the cute little biddies. Oh my goodness, your babies are just beautiful. I just want to start. This is a virtual experience. It is very new. I'm not sure how much online activity you've been engaged in during this pandemic, but it is rather new for me. So you may see me look to the side. You may see me read my notes, and only because there is important information that I want to deliver to you about the different development ages and stages and the why behind each activity. So I may say pause, or I may say, I want to highlight this here, because as much as this experience is for your biddy to learn and play. I want to give you all of the tools and all of the resources that I know, that I research, and that I really dig into to assist you in this journey. This is a virtual village, and I'm just so excited and humbled and honored to come alongside you. So, are you ready for circle time? Let's lay out our materials. I did send an email last night. If you can get your washcloth, if you have a washcloth, your bowl of ice, and then just a towel to lay down just in case your biddy's hand's gonna get wet, your hand's gonna get wet. So you can just lay that out right in front of you. Your biddy can sit on it, stand on it. You can sit your bowl there. We will always start our circle time by laying out our materials and then move in. So if you are ready, I see everyone, I just love everyone got down on the floor. Y'all are ready. Y'all came with the energy and I love it. Join me in the circle, the circle, the circle. Join me in the circle, let's learn and play. Join me in the circle, the circle, the circle. Join me in the circle, let's learn and play. Let's see who came to play today. Buddies, at this time, we are going to introduce ourselves. You are going to say your name. You are going to say your biddy's name, your biddy's age, and where you're from, because we are all not in the same state or city. So just one at a time on our screens, I am going to unmute Mia, or you can unmute yourself, Mia.
Sorry, difficulty because he thinks we're wrestling. Good morning, this is Christian, and he is 17 months. And my name is Mia Hampton Dickerson. My husband's name is not on the last part of my Zoom name. And we are in Haymarket, Virginia, which is like Northern Virginia, near kind of close to Dulles Airport.
Welcome, welcome to the circle, the circle. Welcome to the circle to learn and play. Dominique.
Hello. We're happy to be here. Oh, does that a little wave, a little wave? I'm Dominique. This is Classic. We are in Chicago, and I don't know what else we were supposed to say.
And just how old is Classic?
Oh, and Classic is 15 months.
Great. Welcome to the circle, the circle, the circle. Welcome to the circle. Let's learn and play. And Andrea.
Hello, I'm Andrea. This is Tyson and Dad Ramon. Tyson is 16 months and we're in Dallas, Texas.
Welcome. Welcome to the circle, the circle, the circle. Welcome to the circle. Let's learn and play. We will always sing about one or two nursery rhymes to really get the children moving and stimulate those bodies. Their bodies are growing and they're getting bigger. So we want to strengthen those muscles and we want to help build that coordination. So we are going to do If You're Happy and You Know It. So your biddy can sit or they can stand. I do want to highlight that this is the perfect time to build connection. Your presence, your playfulness, eye contact, and physical touch. So helping your biddy clap or stomp or raise their hands up, all of that is not only just physically stimulating for them, but it helps them feel safe, loved, and secure. So when we're singing songs, I want you to, don't worry about looking at the screen at me. I want you to really take that time to engage with your biddy. Ready? If you're happy and you know it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you really wanna show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, and you really wanna show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray. If you're happy and you know it, and you really wanna show, if you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray. I saw all my biddies raise their hands up high, and they tried clapping their feet and clapping their hands and stomping their feet. You did it. All right. So singing and music is always a way to heighten your biddy senses. And you know, music, we always just love to jam and to move when we hear music, and so do our biddies. So you can always sing with them. As I mentioned before, that playfulness, that presence, that uninterrupted time where you're making eye contact and you're singing with them is gold. It's bond boosting. Before we do our sensory exercise, we are going to read a story. And I want to highlight that at HBCU-ish, we always read stories with brown baby, okay? Because we want our biddies to see themselves in the story. We believe in representation. I Know a Lot, a book about feeling smart. I know rocks are heavy and flowers are light. I know bright means day and dark means night. I know balls can bounce and kites can fly. I know water is wet and glue will dry. I know snow is cold and stoves are hot. If you ask me things, I know a lot. The end. And if you notice, when I read this story, I highlighted key words, cold and wet. So we're going to move into our sensory exercise with your washcloth and your cup or bowl of ice. And because ice can be a choking hazard for your little biddy, I want to make sure that you place your ice cube, about 1 or 2, nice and tight into your washcloth like this. Wrap it around, as you can see. Just because those biddies are strong, they're curious, and they'll try to grab it. So we want to keep them safe. And your biddy is using their senses to explore the world and to learn. So I want you to begin by touching your biddy's hands. Wow, that's cold. And I want you to narrate what you were doing with your biddy and emphasize cold. And you can try the other hand. Wow, my hand is getting wet. My hand is wet. I want you to narrate that for your biddy. And it's okay, just like Ms. Jim said, if they're not ready, that's okay. I'm also gonna give you an extension activity that you can do later on to extend what we're doing today. Oh, I saw that face when you touched that ice cube. It was cold and it was wet. You can try touching your biddy's cheek. Touching their cheek. So we're also identifying body parts for our biddies. And you can touch your biddy's nose and their toes. We are rhyming with our biddies, nose and toes. We're building early literacy. All right. And I just want to highlight that your biddy is watching you. So when we're speaking and we're asking them to repeat those words, cold and wet, they are looking at your mouth. And that's for language formation. So we want to make sure we emphasize cold and wet. And I also want to highlight for this age group, one of the reasons why exposure to cartoons, we want to limit exposure to cartoons, is because when your biddy is looking, it's very visually stimulating, but a lot of times cartoons' mouths don't line up with what they're saying. So they're not able to, we're not encouraging language formation. They aren't seeing our mouths move like in person. So we want to make sure that we emphasize, and when we are making that eye contact and speaking with our biddies, that we want to remember we are building their language development. And also I want to point out that a lot of times we ask kids to repeat after us. And now that your biddies are older and they're starting to babble and say words, you can begin repeating after them as well. Because studies have shown that imitating our children and the words that they are saying, they are feeling understood, and it's building their confidence because we are confirming that they're communicating. Okay, so we want them to repeat after us to build their vocabulary, but you can repeat after them to build their confidence and to assure them that I understand you, you are communicating. So before we sing our goodbye song, I want to really emphasize when we're singing and when we are talking with our biddies that you are making eye contact, that your presence and your playfulness is building connection with them, and to get moving with baby because their bodies are growing. So the more that you're clapping and stomping and jumping and walking and even helping them by holding their hands and bouncing with them, they're strengthening their muscles and their coordination. And lastly, I do want to, with your ice, when you do bath time tonight, take a cube of ice with you. And when they're in the bath, bring it with you and say, ice is cold. The water, our bath water is warm. It may not be hot, so you can say warm. And it's just extending what we're doing today. Sit that ice cube in there and monitor them and let that ice melt and say, ice melts. So all of this is extending what we did today. Until next time, goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. I'm glad you came to play. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. I'm glad you came to play. You did it. You did it. I saw you rocking and clapping. I saw you drinking your water and just chilling with your buddies. I love it. At this time, I am going to make Miss Jen the host.
All right. So we're so excited that you all got to do that class, that we got to do that class with you. And we hope that we get many more opportunities to play with your family, to get to know your family, to share in your successes and your messes as we grow together as a virtual village. I just want to reiterate that, this program is not just a purchase, it is a partnership into a virtual village. So we do a lot of things to try to support connection in a time where we're all very disconnected, especially for the little ones and for parents of little ones. It's a lot of isolation going on right now, a lot of anxiety and stress, and being in a virtual village like this with other families who are seeking the same things as far as freeing their children, freeing their families, and connecting with other families. This is a time for us to do that virtually. So we thank you all. And now I'm going to open the floor to any questions whatsoever that you might have. Any questions, you can just unmute yourself and jump right in and ask any questions that you have. Yes.
Hi, Mrs. Jen, and
Hi,
thank you, Mrs.
Mia.
D. So I have a question. So Christian is 17 months, and by the time this starts, he'll be 18 months. So should he go to the next group, and if he did go to the next group, Mrs. D, are you the teacher? You are? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so you think he should go?
Probably. I think he could benefit from it. You can. Do you have time to come back to the mini school open house today?
What time is that one?
It starts at 11:45 your
time. I can try to make it work. I may not be on camera as much. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. We also will be sharing the recorded videos. Oh, okay. I may just about this. Do you all mind if we share these recorded videos? I don't know if you all will show up in it, but in case you do, are you okay with us sharing this with other families that are interested in the program and sharing it on social media just to give people an idea of the program?
That's fine.
I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thumbs up from everybody. Okay. All right. Thank you. So yeah, you can come back, and if you can't make it, it's totally fine. I will just make a note to email you the link to that video.
Okay, thank you.
You can see it for yourself. Okay. Any more questions?
I had a similar question because Tyson will be 18 months in January. And so just the progression between the programs, how does that work? I know everything's new.
Yes. So he could start in this program and transition over to the other, because right now we have space in both. So you can start in this program and transition over to the other, especially because he's turning 18 months in January. But you could also check out the video, and I'll make a note to send that to you in case you can't make it.
We signed up for the mini school session for tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you already have the link. Mia, do you think you want me to email you the link for that, for the live open house for the next session?
I may try to join tomorrow. That might be better because we're starting a new nap schedule. So he's actually going to be going down. So yeah, I'll either join tomorrow. If you can send me the link for tomorrow, and then possibly the link for today.
Okay.
Because I don't think Brandon can join tomorrow.
Okay. I will send you both of those when we hop off of here. Dominique, any questions from you all?
No, I just want to say thank you. There's a lot of just affirmations, I feel like, in this time together. And I really appreciate the research you all have done and just this opportunity to be with other families, because we haven't really had a chance to do that because of COVID. And just questions I've been asking pediatrician, but
he muted you.
I was gonna say questions I've been asking the pediatrician, but not really getting like alternative perspectives, I guess, in terms of language development, and her suggesting we go to an early interventionalist for like him not speaking yet, and just hearing some of the, I guess, advice that you all had for us to begin to mimic what he's saying, because he babbles a lot. He'll go back and forth with you. He's just not saying words that we recognize. But looking at it from that perspective, and this is the first time I've heard that. So hearing it from that, it is something that I would naturally do, but I didn't know if I was like doing the wrong thing. So to hear you all say that was very affirming, and I'm just very grateful. I'm grateful.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I'm happy that you said affirmations, because we forgot to say that a big part of what we are doing is every one of the parent groups, we are asking that you write affirmations for yourself and that you practice that, because it's a real challenge in parenting, especially during a pandemic. and everything else that's going on. So part of our curriculum does include empowering the parents, because it is important for us to believe in ourselves and to know that it's okay to make messes and mistakes, that our kids will be okay, and that we can support each other in the successes and the mistakes and the messes. So the affirmations are an effort for us to really encourage ourselves and have that great internal dialogue. So it's a whole family thing. It's a village, like I said. It's more than just for the babies. It's a whole mentality for us to love on each other and love on ourselves and love on the babies at the same time. So it's just love all around. So, we thank you all for your time today. We hope that tomorrow we'll be emailing you the registration link, so that the people who are registered tomorrow have an equal chance to have their open house before the registration is full, because that's what always happens. We release the registration and people race to it, and we just want to give everybody an equal chance to register. So tomorrow you'll get that emailed registration link, and we hope that you can join us, and if not, then we hope that you join us in the future. Yes, Mia.
I was going to ask, can people still join tomorrow? I have someone who's interested, and I think her daughter is a little younger, this age. Okay.
Yep, the registration form is still up. So if you still have that link somewhere, let me just share that with her or them. And they, yes, absolutely. Yep. And then of course the videos will be posted on our website, NeuroNurture.org. So if your friends miss it, you can share that with them, and we'll update everyone if the classes are full. But then there's always the on-demand option. I know a lot of preferences for the live classes as long as your schedule allows it. Just because it's definitely more interactive with the babies, but we also have on demand, and we've had a lot of success with that as well. A whole lot. Well, all right, y'all. Well, thank you so much. Tomorrow you'll get an email from us. Mia, you'll get an email from me in a few minutes, just with those Zoom links for the mini school demonstration classes and open houses that are today and tomorrow. But thank you all so much for your time today and for bringing these amazing, beautiful babies. I just can't wait for us to grow with you, to get to know you, and to be in community with your growing family and with your growing babies. We're just so grateful for all of you. Mwah! Bye. Thank you so much. A great big hug. Ugh. We hope to see you all soon. Bye. Thank you.